One of my daughters did some baking recently, and she made these wonderful little pumpkin chocolate chip things. Which are just delightful. I wish I could share this with you. I'm sorry to tempt you like this, but it's a very good treat. I'll finish that off in just a little bit, but there are two parts to preparing things. There's the end result, and then there's the preparing of it. And then the end result is very satisfying, and the preparing of it takes a lot of work. You know, you come into the kitchen after you're done baking something that requires a lot of different ingredients, and it's a mess and needs to be cleaned up. But she did that, and that was fine. But I bring that up because Psalm 23 talks about preparing something, that the Lord prepares something for us. Verse 5 of Psalm 23 says this, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows." That's certainly some Old Testament lingo in there, and some picture language, like with the oil and things that doesn't fully immediately connect with us, but in general, those things all connect with us. You prepare a table before me. You think of a table full of like satisfying pumpkin chocolate chip bites, or a Thanksgiving feast. Any kind of meal that is satisfying. What the Lord is promising there is satisfaction. And then in the presence of my enemies, he also promises that he's going to prepare vindication, that you will be the one to be shown as victorious and right for following the Lord and being with the Lord, no matter how many enemies are trying to tell you something opposite. The phrase, "you anoint my head with oil," that was an Old Testament way of showing significance, that this person was significant to the person who was pouring the oil over someone. And so the Lord is promising he's going to prepare significance, something that shows that you are significant to him. And then that last line, "my cup overflows." You picture a cup and pouring something into it, and just keep pouring until it overflows. It's an abundance. It's more than enough. And how does God do that for you, and what does that mean? So I read that, and I started thinking about a particular moment in Jesus' life. It was when Jesus was, after he had been arrested, and he's standing in the middle of his enemies, people who wanted to do all sorts of horrible things to him and were going to do all sorts of horrible things to him. And they punched him. After they had blindfolded him, they slapped him. They made fun of him. They said, "Prophesy, who hit you? Tell us if you are the Christ. You can surely tell us if you're really that significant." The rest of the night wasn't any better. More mocking, more fists. There's a line that the whole company of soldiers was around him. All the soldiers they could gather around, each taking their shots at him. And what did Jesus do the whole time? He took it. He didn't speak out against him. He just took it. He took it again. And why did he just take it? Because he was preparing something really significant. He was preparing a place for you to look. And see that you are so significant to him. You mean that much to him. In his mind, in his heart, he had to get to the cross. No matter how it hurt along the way. No matter what he would have to silently take, he had to get there so that he could prepare for your soul the promise of everlasting satisfaction. And one that will be abundantly better than anything you could ever imagine. I don't know what it is or who it is that you would consider to be your enemy that you are living in the middle of these days. An enemy can certainly be a person. It can be Satan. It can be any situation that makes it hard to see God, hard to find joy. It makes it hard to rest in His promises. But if you're in the middle of anything like that today, picture Jesus in the middle of His enemies, showing you with everything that He has, with everything that He is, with everything that He didn't do in response. Picture Him thinking of you, thinking of your significance to Him. Rest well tonight, my friends.